Hey everyone, Mike Cameron here. How's everybody doing this fine Saturday afternoon? So it's Saturday afternoon. I decided to come into the office and get a little bit caught up. So you don't get a suit today, you get jeans and a t-shirt, and I hope you're okay with that. So I was really inspired by Sherry Corbett's video post of when she received her Pay It Forward package. So rather than just write a blog post or do an audio recording like I typically do, I thought I'd give this video thing a try and share with you Project Pay It Forward. For those of you that have been watching along on Facebook, I apologize. There's been a lot of mystery and mystique around this thing, but we were trying to keep it secret so that when the packages arrived for the 7 women that got them, that it was a surprise. So let me back up and tell you a little bit about where this came from. So back at the beginning of 2014, one of my goals that I set for 2014 was to try and impact or touch as many people as I possibly could, to try and help as many people as I possibly could. And for me, the easy way of doing that was to add that to my morning routine. And every morning on my way into the office, after I dropped off the kids for school, I would pop into Tim Hortons, like many of you I'm sure, and I'd pick up my extra large regular. So I got into the habit of buying the car behind me in the drive-through their morning coffee, and I did that every time I went through the drive-in 2014, with the exception of one time where I actually forgot my wallet. But every time I went through the drive-through in 2014, I would make it a habit of picking up the tab for the guy behind me, and really it was just more a reminder of trying to find ways that I could touch as many people as I possibly could, and do that on a daily basis. You know, I'm all about building those habits, and repetition is really the mother of habits, and getting those patterns in place. So that's kind of where it started. Flash forward, middle of last year, we started seeing this Women in the Mortgage Industry group come together, and I thought it was just a fabulous thing. The organic growth that this organization saw, or that this group saw, was fabulous. And Hallie Strandlin, one of the founders, is a good friend of mine. So I actually reached out to her one day, and we got talking a little bit about the group. And I said, you know what if I were to put up some dollars and we held a contest to send one of these women to Camp Mortgage Forum 2014 in Montreal. I said, you know, it'd be a great experience, and it gets pretty pricey, and not everybody can afford to do it. So I said, let me put up some money, and we'll come up with some kind of contest. You know, somebody that's never been before, somebody that has a bit of an inspiring story, somebody that's going to take that knowledge and information and really do something with it and pay it forward. So we started this contest, and the response we had to that contest was absolutely fantastic. And when we first did it, I wanted to do it anonymously because, you know, part of me believes that if you really want to do a good deed, do it anonymously, because then it's for true altruistic reasons. You're not doing it for the possibility of future benefit. So I really wanted to do this as an anonymous gesture. And Hallie was the only one that knew it was me that put up the money. So anyways, flash forward, we got such great response, and our industry is such a generous industry that we ended up having a number of other organizations jump on board and donate funds to send more women to Camp Mortgage Forum 2014. And what we ended up with was 7 women going to Camp Mortgage Forum 2014, all of which started with a small gesture on my part. And so for me to watch this thing snowball and compound and grow into, you know, from one person going to camp to 7 women that probably otherwise would not have gone to Camp Mortgage Forum, for me it was just absolutely amazing to watch this happen. And my real highlight at camp was when I actually got to hang out with these 7 women backstage at the Amber Mac portion of the conference. That's a whole nother story, but it was absolutely fabulous. So, you know, I got back from camp, and I started thinking, how do we extend that? How do we expand on that? How do we build on the momentum that we had created through those contests? And so I came up with an idea. I went down to, well, it actually kind of came together a bit of the spur of the moment. I had an invite to go to Vancouver to have a burger with some industry friends, a couple of whom were women that had won the trip. And so I decided to take this thing that I'd been kicking around for a while, and I ran down to HomeSense and I bought 7 little trinket boxes. Ran over to the bank and I grabbed $500 cash for each of the trinket boxes, and I wrote a little note and dubbed it Project Pay It Forward. So in the note I just talked about how fantastic it was that we'd done this thing with the Women in the Mortgage Industry group, and how cool it was for me to see that grow and extend, and I wanted them to have that experience of watching a small act of generosity grow and manifest itself into something so much bigger. So my challenge to them was to find a way to use this money to pay it forward. So whether that's, giving the money to a homeless guy, or finding some creative way of inspiring others to be generous and pay it forward. So that was kind of the premise of Project Pay It Forward, and I'm happy to say that it looks like it's turning into something pretty substantial. The excitement that it's created and the buzz that we've got going, I'm excited to see where this thing goes and what happens with it. More than anything, I hope we inspire you to get involved, to do your part to pay it forward, or even share your stories, because I know lots of you do things on a daily basis that we don't talk about. But in this particular instance, I want us to talk about them. I want us to talk about them because what happens when you talk about it, you get other people excited and it starts rolling. And I gotta tell you, watching this thing roll is amazing, absolutely amazing. We've already had the first $20 spent, and that's a story I'll tell you another time, or in fact the person that spent it will tell you in her own words. But I'm so excited to see where this goes, the stories that come in, and I want to hear your stories. So if you've got a pay it forward type story, share it with us. Let us know what you've got going on in your life. Let us know where you contribute, how you give back, and if there's something that we can do to help sort of grow that and expand that. If you want to get on board, hop on board by all means, because this train is a-rolling, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we can go. So I hope you enjoy following along, and more importantly, I hope you enjoy playing along with us, and let's see what we can do with this thing.